Welcome everyone. We're back with the Book Club Live. Great to have you here. We're here for International Yoga Day, so a really special episode of the Book Club Live. Hopefully nice, calm, peaceful. So we'll wait for a few of you to join. We have teamed up with Sweet Cherry Publishing, who I'll invite to hop on the call in a moment. And we will also have the author of these fantastic books, Mula and the Fly, and another great new one, Mula and the Snooty Monkey. So both of those are available from Books to Door, published by Sweet Cherry. And we've got the author herself, Lauren, who's going to be here to talk about both of those. So great to have some of you here joining us. It's been a while since we've been live, and we're focusing today on International Yoga Day. So these are really fantastic books for the children. We're going to get stuck in a moment and tell you all about them. I've actually read this one, Mula and the Fly, but I haven't got my hands on this one yet, so I'm really, really excited. So Lauren will be able to tell us all about it. So I'll invite Sweet Cherry in, as they are the publisher of these incredible books, and we've got Lauren as well, so just give us a moment. Okie dokie. So as always, please feel free to hello. So we've got Divya and Sanji here from Sweet Cherry Publishing, and Lauren should be with us in a moment. Hi Lauren.
Hi.
Hi everyone. Great. Oh, that's great. We've got loads of people joined already, so I'll just carry on giving a quick sort of introduction. So we've got these as a set on our website, and we will be giving one lucky person the chance to win the two books as well as the set. So watch out for more information on that. I'll have to just hold those up a little bit, but I think you've all got copies of the book as well. So.
We're all holding it.
Oh, great. I'm so excited. And we're doing this today because it is International Yoga Day. And I know Lauren and Divya and Sanji, you'll be able to talk about this a bit more, but yoga, actually doing it with children, it's really nice. And if anybody hasn't done it, so Lauren had the pleasure of meeting my little boy Devon last week, and we do try and do some of the poses. And it is just a couple of minutes of calm. So for International Yoga Day, if you haven't tried yoga with your children, get your hands on Lauren's book, and also just give it a go. I'm sure Lauren's got some great tips for us. Okay, so shall we do a quick sort of introduction? I'll come to Sweet Cherry first.
Hello, we're Sweet Cherry, live from the office, super excited. It's actually my first time meeting Lauren, apart from, online, we message each other, but yeah, face to face, this is our first meeting. You guys should know Lauren's all the way in. Where in the world are you, Lauren?
I'm in the middle of Brooklyn Heights, my happy place, I'm not gonna lie. If you haven't checked out, if you've been to New York City but missed Brooklyn, specifically Brooklyn Heights, well, you're missing out. It's just lovely.
We'll be there as soon as we can, won't we? As soon as we can convince the Andy to pay for our ticket. That'll be wonderful. But the point is, this is like an international Instagram live. It's like crazy. Yeah, Divya and I here with our books, ready to talk more about International Yoga Day.
Great. And then Lauren, I guess over to you. So, I mean, we'll be talking to you loads and asking you lots and lots of questions. If anybody has got any questions, please post them. We'll love to hear Lauren's response. If you've got any questions for the publishers or myself, please post them and we'll make sure we get to them. So over to you, Lauren. So you're based over in New York, but you've joined us this morning or this afternoon to tell us all about your wonderful books.
Yes. Well, over here in New York, it's 7:30 in the morning, so bright and early. The birds are singing.
Perfect time to do a bit of yoga, to get you
absolutely
up. Rise with the sun.
Exactly, we're rising with the sun here, literally. My background is I come from the world of entertainment. And when I went to university, I studied a lot of playwriting, did a lot of that myself. And when I was transitioning from entertainment to anything else. I didn't really know what to do. I was in that mindset of, I'm too old. How can I actually transition into something else? What am I going to do with my life? And I went back to my yoga roots. And during that time, a little story popped into my head, which ended up becoming Mula and the Fly. And yeah, the rest is history. And I teach in yoga in my neighborhood and all around the city. But I also teach little kiddies, and they're just wonderful. At any age, you can easily gravitate to yoga because the basic principle is we move our bodies so we can sit in a calm state of mind. Some people call that meditation, but it's really just moving and breathing. It's very simple. You don't have to look like an Instagram body origami contortionist. That's not what yoga is. Yoga is literally sitting, moving, breathing, and that's it.
The breathing's really important as well, isn't it? I think, just taking those few minutes.
Absolutely, it's very essential. I mean, today's International Yoga Day, so we can just dive right into into yoga. The first sutra in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, if you're not familiar with yoga, the very first thing that we learn is yoga is the stopping of the whirlings of the mind. And I translate that to children by saying, yoga is a way to calm down our busy, busy, busy thoughts. Nowadays, we give this a hot term called mindfulness. So yoga and mindfulness are easily interchangeable because they're essentially saying the same thing. The root of yoga is to find those practices where we can connect to our breathing so we can calm down. And a big thing right now, a big trend today, it's my happy trend, is talking about calming down our stress factors. And we can do that easily by connecting to something that's very free. It is our breathing, focused and intentional breathing. And there are many different ways of doing that. Just to simply calm down our anxiety. A big thing that teenagers are talking about now is anxiety and depression. How can we mindfully attune into our bodies in order to calm ourselves down and able to focus and be better humans, be kind and compassionate.
And I think that's really nice, the way that you tell that kind of story through the books for children, because it's in a way that they can really understand. So my little boy, he's nearly 4, but there is, and I think I said this to you before, Lauren, as well, there is actually a really nice story in Mula and the Fly, as well as kind of finishing with the yoga poses. So shall we just have a quick look at that one to start with? So where did the idea come from? I mean, it is kind of primarily a picture book. I'm going to try and, I know I'm going to try and open it up as much as I can. And just from a publishing perspective, Sweet Cherry, you've done a fantastic job here. I mean, it's a hardback. It's so stunning. It's really it's one that, you just see it on the shelf and kids will want to grab it and pick it up. It's fantastic. And it's just a really lovely book to have at home. So I'll just show you the way it's kind of been put together. So, and one thing I really like is that it's an easy book to follow in terms of the read, the words and everything like that. And there's quite a lot of opportunity for children to get involved. And I'll just kind of move over to I'll just quickly kind of show you some of the yoga poses at the end, because that's where it kind of progresses to. So in terms of children actually sort of being able to do this, it's all there. And am I correct in saying there's a little video as well to accompany? It's there are some yoga poses on a video that maybe children can...
Oh yeah, I'm a total ham. When Divya said, would you be welcome to film yourself doing the yoga poses, I was like, yes. So if you go to the Sweet Cherry website, on the Mula and the Fly page, if you scroll down, you'll be able to see videos that we composed that are easy to follow along in order to string together the poses at the end of book number 1. Like a little sequence, and also to easily break them down for children, for parents, for teachers, for caretakers all around.
Great.
Lauren,
We'll try and get hold of those.
Can you tell everyone where Mula's name comes from?
Oh yeah. So Mula's name comes from the Sanskrit Muladhara, which stands for the root chakra. So I'm just gonna quickly introduce us to the snooty monkey, because our snooty monkey's name is Svati, which stands for Svadhisthana, coming from the Sanskrit of the second chakra, the sacral chakra. So if you are following along, you'll realize that each one of the characters are named after the progressive chakras in the chakra system. So we're gently introducing the fundamentals of yoga to children in a fun way. I mean, that's the only way I learned as a kid. You had to be entertaining for me to be captivated in order to learn. So yeah, I definitely wrote these books for me.
Oh no, that's really nice. That kind of like insight and stuff. It's just really nice to hear about the books because it is something then you can talk to the children about, and like getting them hooked onto kind of a series or a collection. Having that sort of information will help them to be like, yeah, I want the next one, or what does that mean? So that's
Absolutely.
really.
It's also important knowing that I keep saying the word trend here, but you know, it's important to come to the roots of what something is. If I'm writing a book about yoga, you have to constantly research. You have to be respectful. You have to be responsible in the origins of a practice that is goes back a few thousand years. That there's still research being done to this day about where the essential tools of yoga originated. There is no crystal clear point, but knowing that it's such an expansive well, now today it's an industry, right? But it's an expansive spiritual practice, and we have to honor where these things come from. So I think it's extremely important to name the characters from the language where this particular practice originated from. Otherwise, I would be doing a disservice to children and to practitioners worldwide.
So you've had quite a lot of research then goes into the book before. You know, before that kind of before I guess the final piece is put together. And then, yeah.
I'm a happy nerd. You have like even it's a picture book, yes, but it's funny because when you're crafting something like this, and I'm sure Sanji and Divya can even speak to this as well. No matter what type of book you're putting out there, there's a lot more that's gone onto the drafting board, the editing process. There's a lot of paper on the floor in order to achieve what we find in our final product. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it to inform a character, to inform the storyline, and it's so fun. It's kind of like a rehearsal.
Yeah. I bet it is, and I guess like the two of you work so closely together in terms of like a publisher and the author and even the illustrators to get this kind of perfect. So I don't know, maybe from a publishing perspective, do you want to tell us a bit more about that, and kind of like how does Lauren's like sort of nerdy insight then transform into these incredible books for kids?
Definitely a team effort, wouldn't you say? Like, it's not just the two of us. There's like a huge team behind. So the editors get involved first, and they have a look at the manuscript and they edit it. Go on.
I think when it comes to launching the book, one thing that we wanted to do is make sure that this book portrayed Lauren's infectious energy, which, if you haven't already gathered, it is infectious. Like when you see Lauren and she smiles, you smile. And that's the story that we want to share with
no, but it's true. Like, you know, there's a lesson in Lauren, which, you know, I hope no one's missing on the Instagram live. This is a lady who came to a point in her life and thought, what am I going to do next? And she thought, you know what, I'm going to do what is in the core of me, what is important to me, and I'm going to put it out into the world. And these are the products. You know, this is the product of that intention that that she had, which I think is so amazing, and we're so proud to be a part of. And you know, that's what she captured in all of our team. And it wasn't us. We didn't get to know the project till a little bit later on, because that's not how it works. So the initial person that, you know, I think it was Jasmine, wasn't it?
Jasmine.
You know, she's the one who completely saw this amazing thing in Lauren and then just brought it to the team. And we were kind of, I think, had this idea, we'd love to do a book like this. So, you know, we just didn't know how. And then Lauren was the gift that came in the universe, and everything aligned perfectly to make sure that this happens. And we're just as excited. And what's lovely is we do other publishing, but every time, you know, you post something you're passionate about, so your passion is so infectious that we get caught up in it, and we're just like, yeah, come on, let's carry on. And it's so good. There's more to come from Mula, so watch this space.
everything.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, everything from like the colors, the beautiful illustrations, and also it's a fun story. And I think that's just summarizes
It's a
Lauren.
fun yoga story, exactly as it says.
Yeah.
Not false advertising. It is a fun yoga story.
Is. And that's the thing. I mean, the characters are so funny. Like in the next one, which people haven't seen yet, you know, you get introduced to the snooty monkey, and it is so funny. And you know, Lauren appeals to the child in all of us. So when we read the book, you know, we are sniggering and laughing and getting involved, which is really, really nice. And Lauren, I really want you to know some of the feedback that we get on the daily from parents. You know, like a lot of the parents who've read the book for the second or third time go, it's really hard to read this book now because they just want to get to the end to do the moves.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. Which I actually get sent pictures of children practicing the poses at the end of the books. It's just so precious. And as you said, Sanji, this is an international group, so it's an international collective of poses all over the world. I mean, all these little downward dogs. It's the sweetest thing.
It's
really
that's really lovely. If anybody has got the book already at home, or if you do get the set, please post us your photos on social media. We'd love to see some of those yoga poses and see how the little ones are doing it. But I think that what you've all just kind of been saying about the children doing it, it's really nice for parents and children to do it together. So even if you are kind of reading it before bed, it's just a nice way to calm, end the day, do a little stretch, and then, you know, and it's not, you know, it's not like you have to do it. You know, my son might just be like, I'll just do a couple. He's often trying to do the one where he has to stand on his head. And I'm like, let's just park that one for now.
But that's not in the taught poses at the end of the book. Yes. I mean, you will see, as the characters are based on the chakras, sometimes when teachers teach, they go, oh, this is a third chakra pose, this is a second chakra pose. Well, it's a yoga posture. It's not necessarily rooted in a chakra, but maybe will be, let's first say, for instance, if it's third chakra, you're more engaged in the core. You know, like if it's fifth chakra, maybe you're closing the throat. So you see where we're saying this. So a lot of the poses that I selected would focus on certain parts of the body, or where the breath is, for that character in their journey of what they're doing in the book. But they're not necessarily, but the ones in the actual story, it's fluid movement for that particular animal. The poses at the end of the book are described, broken down simply for children to practice, and accessible to practice along with their caretakers. So Mula does stand on her head, but we don't recommend that for a 5-year-old.
No. It's they are really good, and I like the kind of I like the sort of simple illustrations as well, and it is quite kind of it's nice for children to just sort of kind of see it and then see them mimic it and do it, but also to understand it as well. So it's a really nice way to just kind of wind down, have a couple of minutes, and practice those and after reading them. So I think that's nice. Would you maybe do us a little reading extract, Lauren?
Sure. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that all of the books are going to have a part where the character is focusing on their breathing. It is the most important part of the book.
Yeah.
So yes, I would happily read a little bit. I want to read this one particular section.
Okay. Do you want to let me know which page you're on, and then I'll try and hold it up on my...
It's starting here. And the reason I want to read these 2 pages because I want to give some tips on how to read the book.
Is it starting Miss Me Again?
Yes. So Miss Me Again is the fly. All right. To give you a little context, Mula tried to bite the fly on the page before.
Ha! Miss me again, said the fly calmly. You need to focus on your breathing.
Mula was so annoyed that she let out a giant huff of air. So let's all let out a giant huff of air.
Excellent, said the fly. Now, lift your arm and try to swat me here.
So let's all try to lift our arm and swat the fly. Let's try with the other arm. Whoop. Did you miss the fly? I missed the fly.
Now, try and catch me over here.
So let's all try to catch the fly on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3, and catch the fly.
I missed the fly again. Now, try and kick me over here.
So let's all stomp our feet together. Stomp and try to kick the fly.
I keep missing the fly. Wow, said the fly. Your yoga is quite impressive. Mula was confused. My what, she asked. Your yoga.
Brilliant. That was
so that's a little
Thank
tip
you.
on how you can read the book to really engage the kids or the students. You can also read this in class. This is a fun one to introduce mindfulness into your schoolroom, which again the book is fun, so it gets them engaged in a fun way. But again, the point of yoga is to start to focus on those intentional breaths, move the body so your mini students will be able to find balance. But also, the more you find this intentional breathing, you're actually engaging the brain in a way where they'll be able to focus on other parts of their school. So improve their reading, it will improve their engagement in whatever other subject you're trying to teach the students. So a little bit of mindfulness goes a long way.
And plus we have a lot of rainy days here in the UK. So if there are any teachers who are like, what am I going to do with my children on this rainy day? They can be like, break out the Mula.
Exactly.
So for every rainy day, you've got a new book. Boom. You're welcome.
I really like that idea of kind of like introducing it to schools and mindfulness, because it's really simple. Like you said, it is fun. And I think that part of the story that you picked was perfect, because then as the book continues, Mula starts saying, okay, I will give it a go. And I think that's something that with young children, when it's something new, that you kind of do need that positivity and for them to sort of feel encouraged. And they're like, well, where do I start? And that's kind of almost like mimicking maybe where the children would be. So I think that's really nice. And then it has this lovely kind of page here where it says just listen to your heart and focus on your breathing, and to ask children to do that is
absolutely, which I always do in a reading. I say, all right, let's put our hands on our heart and close your eyes. And usually the students don't close their eyes because they really want to see what everybody else is doing. But by telling your students to place their hands on their heart, that gives them something tactile. So when they're breathing, they can feel things moving and they feel connected. So engaging the hands, engaging where you're telling them to focus. Because it's hard when you say close your eyes. It is hard to get that to happen. But something where they feel like they're really participating is huge. Also, it's very fun when you say, let's try to catch the fly. You're going to hear about 2 or 3 students saying, I caught the fly, which is really fun.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for taking us through that book. I know that we are whizzing absolutely through, and there's lots going on today with International Yoga Day. And maybe Sweet Cherry, you can tell us a bit more about that in a moment. But just really quickly, could you tell us a bit more about the newest addition to the collection? So Mula and the Snooty Monkey?
Sure. So as I was saying, each character is named after a chakra, but that chakra also informs a little bit about where the story is going to go. So in this case, Spotty is the snooty monkey who makes fun of all of the other animals in the jungle because he's the prettiest, the smartest, and will never ever be silly. And so we encourage. The characters start a little out of balance based on the chakra that they're focused on. So Mula is lazy in the beginning, and then eventually she wakes up. Spotty, we encourage Spotty to start to, let go. And eventually maybe try being a little silly and move his hips and dance and sing. And so this book not only focuses on yoga, but music and dance. So there's a few extra bits and bobs in this particular book that the kids might enjoy.
It's a really lovely book, and there's quite a lot of range of emotions as well. So he goes off in a huff and a puff, and then he comes back.
Oh yeah,
okay,
and he's pink. Ella is a genius. When I saw this cover, I was just like tears of joy. I mean, a little bit of Elton John in there. I was just so happy.
Oh,
we don't shy away from color here at Sweet Cherry.
I know, it's wonderful.
Great, and both of these actually have, so something that I probably should have mentioned, you can scan the QR code at the front. Sweet Cherry often do this with their books, and it includes a free audiobook as well. So really great for children, like kind of just making it accessible to everybody. So that's with both of the books.
And don't forget parents who don't want to read to their kids. You're like, it's okay, I haven't played.
Yeah. I think that's lovely. Yeah, best of both. So we're going to have this set to give away. So as usual, we'll post this on our Instagram. Please comment and tell us your favourite Mula book, and one person will have a chance to win both sets. What are Sweet Cherry and Lauren, are you up to anything for the rest of the day?
Well, more International Yoga Day, so lots of yoga.
Okay. Great. Sorry, Sanji.
Sweet Cherry, we're going to just go on and publish more books for the rest of the day. That's what we're going to be up to.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you. It's been great to have you on and learn more about Sweet Cherry, the fantastic books that you publish. And thank you so much, Lauren, for taking the time out to tell us about your wonderful books.
Of course.
Have a great International Yoga Day, everybody. Thank you for joining our first ever international Instagram Live. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.